Você sabe que perguntas fazer para um estrangeiro? Vem comigo que eu te conto. Tô aqui com o Zer, ele é da Índia, e a gente vai falar algumas perguntas que você tem que fazer quando você vê um estrangeiro pela primeira vez. Hi Zer, thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
So now we are going to talk about some questions that we ask to a person at the third time. Imagine that you don't know a person. You have suffered when you came to Brazil?
Yes, a lot. I think to begin with is better to ask, of course, universally to ask person name, because the sweetest word to a person is his own or her name.
Yeah, so this is the best question.
The best question is, what is your name?
What is your name? Qual é seu nome? Essa é a primeira pergunta para você começar a introduzir com a pessoa alguma conversa.
And if you want to stretch that question, you can ask, what is your surname? Where you coming from? Is this Italian? You know, some surnames.
The origin, about the name, yeah, there are some good questions. So, perguntar mais curiosidades sobre o nome, da onde é o nome, o sobrenome, para poder ficar mais close, mais próximo da pessoa. What's more, we can ask about...
Next, if he's a foreigner, which country he's coming from, where is he from, and then to stretch that more, you can ask which city he belongs to.
Yes, I think it is. So, to get curiosity about the city.
Yeah,
so.
and to engage the person, because if you ask him questions, the person is happy to answer, because that is something which, of course, he's carrying in his head, so he would like to share it.
It's common questions. It's like routine. Oh, where are you from? What's your name? So, a gente já fez um vídeo e um artigo lá no blog sobre o verb to be, e isso tem muito a ver. Então, what's your name? Where are you from? Not how old are you, because this is an impolite question. You should not ask how old are you.
Certain personal information you can ask, like name, country, and what do you do, but not.
What do you do for a living?
Bank number? What is your bank account?
No, this definitely not. You don't ask this for a person. So, where you are from? Where do you do for a living? Ou seja, o que você faz da vida? What is your profession? That is easier, this question. What do you like? What are your hobbies?
In terms of adding, what do? You can even ask, what you want to be. Like if the person is younger,
Yeah.
future plans. So he said, I want to be an astronaut or doctor, whatever.
Yeah.
This will open up the person.
Yeah.
And more.
What are you, if it's a person, a foreign that is here in Brazil, like in your case, so what are you doing here in Brazil? I think this is the first question, the curiosity one. Então, o que você está fazendo no Brasil? What are you doing here in Brazil?
What is your purpose of visit? Why are you here? Vacation or visiting family?
And about you, what are you doing here in Brazil?
For me, I came to see my family here, but my plans is not to stay here for longer. We're gonna move. I think I'm going out of Brazil in November.
In November, yeah. What is the best thing about Brazil for you? Qual a melhor coisa do Brasil para você?
There's so many things, like people and I won't say food because I haven't tried much of Brazilian food. But everything like beaches and.
You haven't tried Brazilian food, really?
Because the whole concept of halal food.
Yeah, they don't have.
But it smells yummy and I hope it's good. And lot of things, everything accumulates, to make Brazil more interesting for me. I still have to watch Carnival.
Carnival, oh my god.
Carnival. Still have to go places like Rio, Brasilia. Since I'm an architect and I used to follow, because now he's dead.
Yeah, but it was a few times, like 2 or 3 months, but yeah.
Oscar Niemeyer, his architecture in Brasilia is amazing.
Yeah, it's true.
So if I get a chance, I would like to go to Brasilia.
And what you didn't like about Brazil? O que você não gostou? What you didn't like about Brazil?
I think the politics, because everybody complains about politicians, so I feel sad for them. And the economy is going down. It's high time that people should do something about the economy.
Yeah, I really think.
Politicians are not doing anything on that.
And a curiosity about India. Just to finalize the video, então para terminar, uma curiosidade sobre a Índia.
About India, what can I say? There's so much to say about India. I have noticed that Brazilian thing, Indian is a spiritual nation.
Yoga? They do yoga?
You land in India and you see even the staff in the airport doing yoga. No, it is not true. For matter of fact, people nowadays withdraw, like they don't even know what yoga is. I think it's the foreigner people who came there and made yoga famous.
Yes.
Still, there are some institutes teaching yoga, but you will hardly find any Indian learning yoga there.
Yeah, really.
So, for example, there are 20 students, 18 would be foreigners, 2 would be Indians.
So this is a curiosity. And about the rules, though, kissing on the street. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a culture shock the other day. I was walking by the street. There was a young couple kissing passionately, and I was like, "Really? You can do that on the street? You don't have room?"
You don't have room.
This is not a big no-no in India. You cannot do this on streets.
Yes. Ok, people, então espero que vocês tenham gostado. Algumas curiosidades sobre a Índia e algumas perguntas que vocês conseguem fazer. Lá no blog a gente tem muitas coisas sobre o verb to be, sobre personal pronouns, e aqui a gente usou um pouco. Então, depois eu vou deixar as perguntas na descrição do vídeo, perguntas que você pode fazer quando você conhece uma pessoa de outro país. Acompanhe o nosso blog e venha fazer uma aula experimental para vivenciar na prática quando você for para fora. Bye bye, thank you!